well, like a carrot, so the root grows down in the ground, but you can also eat that part. And even though it looks like a potato, it's not a potato at all. But the part that most of you have probably ate is this top part up here, these leaves. Those are turnip greens. Okay, so, but you can't eat both parts of them. So what we're going to read about is we're going to read about a farmer, and he planted turnips, and you're going to see something that happens, and you're also going to see that farming and gardening is not something you can do on your own. It's something that you have to have a lot of help for, okay? You ready? Okay. The great big, enormous turnip. Show me with your hands, not your words, but your hand. What enormous means? Giant, great big, huge, right? All right, you ready? There once was a little old man who lived with his wife in a pretty cottage in the country. He grew wonderful vegetables, which his wife made into delicious stews and pies. Early one spring morning, the little old man went into the garden to plant some turnip seeds. He dug a shallow trench, scattered the seeds along, and covered them with soil, patting it down carefully. Then he put away his tools and went back to his house for a cup of tea. Everything normal so far? Yes. How you would imagine it would go? Okay. After a while, the little green shoots popped up out of the ground. The old man carefully took the young plants, making sure there weren't any weeds or stones in their way. So the young turnips, they grew and they grew, but one of them grew much faster than the rest. And every day he watched it grow bigger and bigger. The turnip went on growing and growing. First, it was the size of a football, which is about how big?
Like this big.
Okay. Then it was the size of a barrel.
What?
So kind of like the chairs you're sitting in, but maybe a little taller. Then it was the size of a wheelbarrow.
What?
And it kept on growing bigger and bigger until it became the size of the farmer's favorite chair. Guys, look. This is the size. And it grew as big as the chair. The little old man, he looked at the great big enormous turnip and he thought it was wonderful. His wife looked at the great big enormous turnip and she wondered how she was ever going to fit it in her cooking pot. One morning, the little old man's wife said, "Why don't you pull that turnip up today so I can make us a nice stew for supper? You don't want it to get old." Now, the little old man, he didn't really want to pull up the biggest turnip he'd ever grown. But he knew his wife was right. If he left it much longer, it wouldn't taste very good. So, taking his garden fork, he went to the garden to pick it up. Let's take a vote real quick. Thumbs up if you think it's going to be easy. Thumbs down if you think he's going to face a few problems. Or kind of neutral if I'm not real sure. Okay, let's see. The little old man, he dug around the turnip to loosen the soil. Then he put his arms around the huge vegetable. He grasped it firmly and he pulled and he pulled. But the giant, enormous turnip didn't budge. What does that mean it didn't do? It didn't move. And what word did we use? It didn't budge. But I need you to remember that. The little old man's wife held her husband firmly around the waist. The little old man held on to the great big enormous turnip. And together, what did they do? They pulled. And they pulled.
And it would not budge.
But the great big enormous turnip
Would not budge.
did not budge. My goodness, said the farmer. We'll need some help with this. And they called the boy next door.
Oh my gosh.
So the boy next door came and he held on to the wife. And the wife held on to the farmer. And guess what they did? They pulled. And they pulled.
But it didn't budge.
But Maybe a little bit?
Excavator.
I don't know. Let's see. We need some more help. The boy from next door called his sister. So the sister came over, and the sister held on to the boy, who held on to the wife, who held on to the farmer, and they but it didn't budge. So the girl called the only person she knew to call. Her dog. The dog held on to the girl, who held on to her brother, who held on to the wife, who held on to the farmer, and together they pulled, and they pulled, but it didn't budge. We need some more help, barked the dog. Who do you think the dog called? Here we go. So the cat held on to the dog, who held on to the sister, who held on to the brother, who held on to the wife, who held on to the farmer, and they pulled, and they pulled.
But it did not budge. But it still didn't budge.
But it didn't budge. We need some more help, meowed the cat, and she called
The mouse.
the mouse.
I feel like I know it.
Little bitty mouse.
What?
Okay, one more time. Here we go. The mouse held on to the cat, who held on to the dog, who held on to the sister, who held on to the brother, who held on to the wife, who held on to the farmer.
They pulled
They
down.
pulled, and they pulled.
It
It came out with a ginormous swamp. I guess the mouse was just really strong. That little bit of help they needed. That evening, the little old woman cooked a scrumptious turnip stew for dinner. Then the little old man and the little old woman, the little old boy, the little old boy, the little boy, the little girl, the dog, the cat, and the mouse all sat down together at the table and enjoyed the best meal any of them could remember.
Wow.
So did it take teamwork to have the garden?
Yeah.